construction makers.
Okay.
So what are we going to play today? What am I going to play today?
All right, we're going to play Duelyst II.
Wow.
It's confusing. So there are two versions of this game that you can download on Steam. One is called Duelyst II, and one is called Duelyst GG. To be clear, we don't really know what the difference is, other than Duelyst II is sort of the legacy version of the game.
I've played Duelyst maybe for 10 minutes, and
Right.
that was years ago, so I know practically nothing. I
Right.
forgot it was even a card game.
Right, and this to me, I wanted us to play this because I played it quite a bit when it first came out. During that time, it was doing some really interesting things in the digital TCG space.
I remember a lot of people talking about it and seeming to be really into it.
They're basically playing with all of those knobs of a trading card game mixed with a turn-based
Miniatures
tactical,
game?
miniatures-esque game.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna go through the tutorial here and talk about things that we notice.
All right.
All
Okay.
right, here we are at Duelyst.
All right. I don't want to bother deck constructing or anything like that at the moment.
Right.
That's just a lot. So let's just hop into a game.
You know what the art reminds me of a little bit? Did you ever see the miniatures game Confrontation? Probably
No.
not, right? So that's another game we can talk about at some point. Okay, so choose starting
Click
hand.
to replace up. So there is a mulligan.
So there's a mulligan.
Okay. So there's a mulligan and you can
Replace every
cards throughout.
turn? I don't remember the replace every turn thing.
That is interesting.
Maybe that's a new addition. Here we go.
Hey, and a zero cost.
Good luck, have fun.
Technically.
Thanks, computer.
Wait, mana tile.
Yeah. So
Oh.
this was something that was interesting, right?
Okay.
Is that I think since you're going first, you are positioned further away from the center one. Where since he's going
Interesting.
second, he can get to that orb and gain an extra mana by getting to that position.
That's really
And
cool.
Right. And I
Yeah.
think it's very smart because it is pushing the action. Right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
saying, okay, here's these points and control points on the board that if you get there, you get that extra bonus.
This is something that I think is probably not common knowledge. It's something that I think gets really into nitty gritty of game design. I personally tried designing a whole positional board game for like over a year straight. So a big thing that we talked about on all those game design nights is this right here is if your goal is not just defeat other person,
Right.
even if it is, most of the time having some sort of a secondary like function or goal or tile that you want to care about in order to encourage different positioning is super, super important. And this being this doesn't directly affect your opponent. It only benefits you is really great because that means that like I would call that like soft positioning where it's like it's not something you have to do, but it's something that if you decide to do it will benefit you.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, it's going to benefit your opponent, which is really cool.
It's actually something that we probably think Commander Magic needs.
We're not talking about Commander Magic today. We're talking about Duelyst.
Sorry.
All right, so I can't really do anything. These artifacts stick around. It has durability. Oh, all artifacts have 3 durability. When your general takes damage, it loses 1 when an artifact has no durability. Okay, interesting.
Okay, cool.
I guess they don't have to have that number on it, but it is a little weird that information is just like just there.
Hidden, yeah.
But let's see.
But it's this. At least it's normalized. So
Let's see. Okay, it's got little
okay. It
pips
does
right
show
there.
you. Yeah, you get some kind of feedback on the screen from it. That's good.
Well, I mean, this dude, I'm just going to go straight ahead, right? Like,
Minions,
give a minion attack equal to his... What?
Do you see the little animation on the hands? They're like doing like a little like secret handshake.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that.
Huh. Wait, yeah, that is neat. Oh, a different
I like
animation
that they
place
have
when you're
little-
hovering it.
I like that they have little animations.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That is interesting. Man, the art budget for this must have been insane.
Right?
Oh, I have a timer. Okay, I'm ending turn.
All right.
That's
Enemy turn.
insane. Give a minion plus attack equal to its health. Can't I just walk up to this dude and swing?
You can't do it to yourself. It has to be to a minion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if
all
you can do
right.
it to yourself. Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be absolute.
I was like, what is this game?
absolute ape. Yeah.
Opening Gambit, teleport a nearby enemy minion. Opening Gambit triggers an effect when played. What?
Opening what?
Opening,
wait.
Okay,
opening. It has the ability, right? So
Right.
opening gambit means a triggered effect
So
when played.
It's battle cry.
I don't know why it's called opening gambit. That's a terrible
really
name for
terrible
that.
keyword.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Duelyst developers. a keyword that has 2 words is already like
already bad. Yeah.
But opening Gambit, that makes it seem like if you start this in your hand at the beginning of the game, that's where my brain goes.
I agree.
Give allied. Okay, and this only works once.
The mana, yep.
Okay, so it's something you
once
go and
it's picked
collect.
Up, yep. Once it's picked up, that's it.
Interesting. You draw 2 cards per turn, right?
Yes.
It is interesting when... personally, I'm not a fan of this sort of, I don't know how else to say it, like an arbitrary number of like, oh, you don't just draw 1 card, you draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me as much in a digital space because it does that thinking for you.
Right.
I do like, I mean, it seems like this is like a max hand size, right? You can't have any more.
Right.
So I do like that. I like that it has that cap. It pushes you to have to keep playing
cards.
things
Yep.
or replacing them.
Drawing 2 a turn is a little weird. I get that they want to probably push the pace of the game, and that's a really easy way to make sure people have more things to play. But it would be much more cumbersome in an environment where you, the player, would have to remember that. But here, you're right. It's just, it happens for you.
Right. Where can I play this guy? Okay, I can play it anywhere. Can he move? Or does summoning sickness mean he can't move?
I don't know. It probably means he can't move.
Okay.
That would be my guess. You could have moved down to the orb.
Yeah.
You might still be able to move. I don't know if you want to do this or not, but you can move 1 closer to that orb on the bottom and then play your unit on that orb, getting a mana back, and then you can play your 3-cost spell. So now you can use the spell on him.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah. That's
just to, do something cool. I don't know. Oh, I thought it didn't work for a second.
I was a little sad.
I was like,
I don't know if it's because we need like sound louder on this or something.
Oh, maybe.
Remember, you can replace cards from your action bar. Yeah, thanks. I know. It's so weird. I haven't felt the need. It's nice that it's a thing. Don't get me wrong, but it is. I get it. It's for late game, right? It's when you draw your low mana stuff and you want to work your way in. But like, we kind of talked about this, that like you already have a consistent scaling up of mana, right? So most decks are already going to be leaning into mid range at a minimum. Right. Even the aggro decks.
Yeah.
And so now that you're also able to replace these things, you're only encouraging more of that higher mana stuff to be able to be played even at an aggressive pace.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting because you're right in that you would want to play fewer lower cost things. And so as the game goes on, things would theoretically get more exciting, bigger, more exciting, higher stats, but like every deck is going to be doing that. I don't know. It's a little weird.
Yeah. I will say all the controls so far has felt like really nice and fluid. Like intuitively, I'm like, I drag this to go and attack that. Like all that feels really, really great.
Game feels good.
Yeah. Which I do feel like it seems like such a weird thing to mention, but I feel like game feel is something that you only notice it when it's really bad.
Yeah.
And I do feel like this seems like not a super high budget game. It seems like a mid-budget. It doesn't seem like it's like completely indie.
Their art budget definitely was high.
Definitely. Although I do wonder if that's why they did pixel art, if that was maybe
that probably
cheaper.
helped. Yeah. It's an interesting style though. Like I don't hate it. There's a little bit of a disconnect between like the character art and the miniatures though.
Yeah.
In a little bit of a weird way.
Yeah.
Where like, and also like when you look at the units and stuff, they've just used the pixel art for the units as well. I think, it's a good allocation of resources, right? Like if you have you're like, how do we best use our art budget? It's going to be, make the models look good, but keep them on the inexpensive side, invest some more money in the key art and then the main character's art. That makes sense to me.
Can I kill this guy?
Big boy.
I can. Yeah, I can deal lethal.
To who?
To this guy.
Oh, to the...
Depends on if I can play... Okay, so if I can,
you can move
him there, where can I... Yeah, I can play him in that corner.
Ooh, oh boy. Oh, well, he can't attack this turn.
Oh, no.
He's summoning...
Oh, no. That's a thing.
You're in trouble now.
Oh gosh, I really screwed up here.
Why don't you just... you can just...
Why? I don't... Oh, okay, I'm seeing the arrow. This is confusing.
Like where he's gonna move.
Yeah, it looks like I'm targeting this guy because of the like.
Yeah.
That's so far. That's the only.
That's a little weird.
That's the only weirdness.
And this is why there's summoning sickness.
Because they wouldn't have been able to react to that.
Right.
I mean, summoning sickness is essentially just a creature stack, if you could think of it like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's making sure that the opponent has an opportunity to respond to whatever you've done. Right. And if you're denied that ability, you go from unknown information being things that are in your hand to known information, to that known information doing what it's supposed to do before, like you don't step through the process. And so it really subverts sort of just the idea of strategy in general, but also a sense of narrative, I guess, a sense of agency, feeling like you were actually able to do anything.
Right.
And it's especially detrimental in Hearthstone because there's no instant speed anything.
So I actually still get to win because I get to kill this guy.
No, you're healing him.
Wait, I heal him? What?
Yeah. What? That's what the card does.
Its owner's...
We literally played that earlier.
Yeah, but we were both at max health, I thought.
Yeah, so it didn't heal him.
Oh, my gosh.
A little graphic came up on him.
Oh.
It said +0.
Oh, gosh, this is so embarrassing. All right, it's still fine. It's still fine, because I get to move this guy.
I mean, we didn't have the sound for the beginning half
Provoked?
of this game anyway. What does that mean?
The hell does provoke mean? Stops nearby enemy minions and generals from moving. What?
Well, there you go. I think you're going to lose.
No.
It's not looking, it's not looking good for you.
I take this back. This game's horse. Yeah. All right. Okay, this guy's got stuff. Summon this minion anywhere on the battlefield.
Airdrop.
Celerity?
Really? It's called
Celerity?
Celerity.
Can activate twice per... What does that mean, I can activate this twice per turn?
That's a $10 word.
What?
I don't know. That's what it means. Also, airdrop, really?
I don't love
airdrop.
that. I don't love that name.
Guys, Duelyst guys. Keywords. Better keywords, please.
I don't hate airdrop. All right. I mean, I guess I gotta hit that guy. I guess.
I don't know. You better figure it out. I'm running out of time.
All right. I'll play this. Yes, I will give that guy. What? +2, -2? Oh my God. Come on.
Hey, reading the unit explains the unit for us.
Not when it's that tiny. Oh,
what's happening now? A lot of stuff's happening.
I think I might lose.
You might be dead.
What does this do?
I don't know.
Can attack any enemy regardless of distance. Summon a mini Jax on each corner space of the battlefield.
There you go.
Okay. Wow. That
seems
a
pretty
lot.
good.
That's a lot. Okay.
So this is something that I think is really good here, is that this movement in like priority of strategy is interesting, right? Where you're going from sort of at the beginning of your turn looking at like, what cards do I have in my hand? I'm going to play those. And now you're like, okay, well, how do I now navigate the board? Mm-hmm. Which, like, I think long term, being able to do those things in whatever order you want is opening a lot of possibility space. But as a newer player, you are still able to chunk that down to, I'll play cards, then I will focus on the board.
Yeah.
When, like, you could do that in either way.
It might just be this first fight. There does seem to be a fair bit of, like, new things.
There's a lot going on. Yeah. Already. Yeah.
Where, I mean, I've played enough card games where, look, I'm missing these, give nearby minion +2, -2 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like, I'm following what's happening for the most part.
Did it preview that for you before you used the ability? But I'm wondering if when you hovered over, it told you what its stats were going to be before you did it.
Maybe, and it might have just
been...
you
just missed it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's possible. Okay, I mean, I guess I'll swing at that guy.
He gets to hit you back, right?
I know. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
Well, but then what does he have? Okay, that one dealt 1. Yeah, okay.
1, yep. We accounted for this.
Uh-huh.
1, uh-huh.
Man, I really was hoping for some... When your opponent summons a minion, this gains +1.
Oh, no. Oh!
So far... Wait, what did that do?
I don't know. Healed himself for 2?
Heals...
Oh, you're good. He's dead.
Wait.
Oh, no, because you'll like tie?
Give allies directly in front and behind your general +1/+1. When this takes damage against... Okay, so... wait. In front and behind your general.
That's a little weird.
That is weird. That's not super intuitive positioning.
Yeah.
But technically, I can't... I'm assuming in front is this, like, here, right? this spot.
I think the spot directly in front and behind your general. Yeah.
Okay, so I can move this guy here.
Well, that's
This
not
guy
going to be in
here,
front.
This guy
Oh, you're going to
here.
Oh, yeah. There you go. There you go. That's thinking.
And then I'm thinking now.
Okay.
I have thoughts.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
And then
Murder.
Oh,
hey.
there it is.
Well played. Well played.
That's right.
Well played. That bot told you.
Yeah.
Well played.
F you, robot.
Good
All
job.
right.
I'm impressed.
And I won for Lionar Kingdoms. I did it. God, these portraits are so dope.
Yeah, they're really,
they're
really cool.
So
right?
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, but these are just
Those are
aesthetics.
Just they're the leaders.
right, but like they don't have a unique ability, do they?
Because
Because it doesn't.
That's a good question. It doesn't look like it.
Right.
Maybe it tells you later.
Interesting. Huh. Oh wow! Now I can win 2 practice games.
Whoa.
Whoa!
2.
Well, let's see. What
Oh,
is?
there's your spirit orbs. Yeah. Okay. All right.
And okay, so I drag it in,
Oh,
and it's a giant machine,
that's kind of cool.
and it explodes.
Sort of. Oh,
Those aren't cards.
what is it?
Are these cards? Oh, those
Oh,
are
they
cards.
are cards
Okay.
inside of
crystals.
crystals.
Infinity stones.
So you open an orb,
Open an orb to
and
open
inside
a
are
crystal.
crystals, and inside the crystals are cards.
And in the cards are miniatures.
and in the cards are miniatures.
Yes.
What?
That is a strange decision.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. All right, well, let's get one more practice game in here against a different faction.
All right. Magmar aspects. Well, that sounds
That sounds like what you would wanna play.
red green. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's go with that. That's red green, all right.
You're on the opposite side of the.
Oh,
You're going second, I think.
okay. I mean, I'm sure that's probably just from an engineering perspective, way better.
Just easier to
than having to always be on the bottom of the screen. I'm sure it's much easier.
It is a little confusing.
It's
that you're now playing from that direction.
I think
It feels more like a board game in that way, which is nice. Like
it
a
does
tabletop.
feel more board gamey. I don't know if it's just because we've been spoiled by all these other digital card games.
Right, that like make sure you're always in the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, if you're playing a card game in person, right? Like you are your person. You are
Right.
always there in that position.
That's true.
Whereas you're almost never playing anything from side to side like this. So
Right. That's true. So the only thing that's a little weird here about the way that the orbs are set up is I feel like the move that you almost will always make
Is
at the beginning
exactly
of the game
what I'm doing.
Is you're
Yeah.
going to move to that orb, you're going to summon a dude on top of the orb to get the mana. This is also weird.
Yeah.
It's even got you on the opposite side, like, you know what I mean? Like last game you were first and you were on the left side and all your stuff's on the left side, and now
Yeah.
since you're on that side of the board, your stats and everything are on that side too.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, that's a
I
little-
don't like that. Yeah, honestly, that doesn't bother me nearly as much as all of this noise back here. I can't reach.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't see
They
any
need
of this.
to clean that up.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like, I'm all for big illustrated backgrounds. Don't get me wrong. That's what's kept me employed for a good amount of years. But it needs cleaner,
Yeah.
clean look
I
for gameplay
agree.
purposes, please. Yeah. So, I mean, as far as the mana orbs go, I do agree with you. I actually wish that there was more variance. And in fact, this is something we talked about that Artifact utilized really, really well, which is variance in the opening board, which I think a lot of people, it can throw people off. I think in Artifact's case, it threw people off because it's a card game. What the heck happened?
Murdered
What?
all your dudes.
Destroy a minion with the lowest attack. Destroy a minion with the lowest
Oh,
attack?
oh.
These cost 1?
Brutal. What?
They cost 1? You have consistent mana every turn.
Yeah.
Your destroy. I'm trying to think. Cut down
Yeah.
in Magic costs. I think
One.
it costs 1.
Yeah.
1 black.
Right.
This is turn 2. Like
Yeah,
what?
that was intense.
Okay. All right.
We got this. Magmar's going down, all right?
You're right. So, but I mean, to go on the whole mana thing, I think Artifact played with the board space a lot, but it wasn't intuitive and it threw players off because it's a card game. But I think leaning more into the miniatures and having different terrains, different things, I think is much more intuitive. I think that's something that players they'd just start a match and they'd be like, oh, whoa, this is the board space. Like, that's really cool.
And it would change your strategy, right?
And it
Like,
would change your strategy.
and I think, I mean, Marvel Snap does this in a very, like in a smaller way, right? Like just having the one thing for each lane changing the way that you're playing.
Yeah, I do wish that there. I mean, I don't know what other games look like. I'm assuming though that practice games are probably similar to other online PvP games and
Sure,
stuff.
yeah.
And also the thing with online PvP that I think most of these games would want to do, it also seems like this game in particular would want to do, is that it does seem to be leaning more into some competitively minded decisions. You can replace
Yes.
cards, draw 2 cards every turn. You have
Right.
great mulligan rules. All make for a much more consistent play pattern.
Yep.
Positionals also very strategy heavy. So
Did you,
having
you get consistent mana.
consistent mana. So having a random layout when you start is probably
Would be
something
a-
that some of those players would not enjoy as much.
Well, I actually think that that's the place where you should do it.
I agree.
Because
Yeah.
it falls under that camp of like, my deck is randomized at the beginning of the game, the board is randomized at the beginning of the game, and that seems like accepted RNG to
Yeah.
me. That's all input, right? Like this all happens before you're making any kind of major strategic decisions.
Yeah.
I also think just more interaction with the environment could be cool. You know, like
Yeah.
maybe if they're like
There's like a wall, or there's a tower,
Yeah.
or there's like different things
yeah,
you can
moving
interact
a
with.
little bit more into that Warhammer realm where you have like advantage from being higher up and things like that.
Yeah, I agree. It is interesting when you get into this board game space, though. Something that I think is interesting when you have the separation of you have actions per turn and you have resources per turn, which
Yep.
are different.
You could almost lump them all together, which is kind of interesting, where you have just sort of an action economy, right? Instead of like mana.
Oh, and I think that I can't think of any games off the top of my head that do this, but I'm sure that it exists. I know board games do this. Horrified is for some reason coming to mind as a game that has action systems, but those actions can be different things that you end up doing, including movement on the board.
Right.
But this, the more things you have on board, the more actions you essentially can do.
Right.
However, you can still have these collecting, these additional actions building up in your hand as well. And so
Right.
it is interesting. I'd be curious to see what like meta builds end up looking like because of that. Because yeah, I mean, I do wonder, like, are board wipes a thing in this? Is that a common
think
thing?
So. Yeah.
Area of effect things.
It is interesting that you have area effect spells. I like that idea. In terms of like, you're targeting this guy and it ends up hitting everything around it. We saw that in some of the creature abilities too.
Yeah. Okay. +2, -2. It does not update it in real time.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
It
does not show what it's going to be.
Yeah, what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem.
In fact, I mean, I'm glad that they let you cancel it.
Right. Oh, hey, there's
the
this
sloth.
boy.
What's it do? We get to learn what it does?
Oh, it's doing a lot.
It's doing things.
Whoa.
What is all this?
I don't know what
What
just
just happened?
I don't know. Stuff.
Okay. Remember, you can replace cards. Thank you.
The replace thing is a little wild to me.
Yeah.
Like
I'm still not entirely sure.
a lot of stuff to think
I don't
about.
think it needs to be there.
I don't know if it needs to be there either.
Okay, no, I cannot move through things.
It feels a little bit like they didn't quite want to embrace everything that a card game gives you in terms of variance.
Yeah.
And so they were like hedging against it sort of presenting as a card game, which is just a little awkward, I think.
Yeah. Okay, I do think I can win this turn, though. Give this guy +2, and then oh my god, what provoked it? The sloth? The sloth?
Yeah,
Come on.
This is a lot. So there's something to be said about having such a big possibility space that you start having to operate on intuition. That's something that like Artifact tries to do.
Right.
Which some people like that playstyle, some people don't. What I will say is that this game presents itself in a way that would not attract players that would like that playstyle.
Right.
This feels to me very much like a
Well, that's the problem Artifact had, too.
Yeah,
is it was
same-
trying to
same
attract that
problem.
player.
yeah.
But, yeah. What is happening?
I-
It turned my guy, transform a minion into an egg of itself. If it is already an egg, hatch it instead?
There you go.
An egg of itself. Here I was, thinking I'll be safe.
You're gonna win this game that turn. Nope. Oh wow. Okay, so you have like units that like enchant places on the board.
I guess, yeah.
It does-
I mean, I like the
cool.
I like the space.
It's a good knob.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Units on the
just a
space
lot.
have +1/+1.
+1 -1.
Oh, +1 -1. So you could just walk onto that and die?
Yeah, apparently.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
That's a little weird.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, I guess
It's a way to control the board, I guess.
this is the other problem I have with Zeal. It says when nearby your general, and I'm not entirely sure. Let's find out.
I think nearby just means adjacent.
Well, let's see if this is
But
adjacent.
you're right. It should be more clear.
That is adjacent. Okay. So corners, adjacent.
Adjacent's probably the better word rather than nearby.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Would you just let me kill you?
I know.
Okay. I think I can kill him if I just
be good.
move and then attack.
There you go. Blam.
All right.
Hey.
There.
You did it.
I don't know if this guy was red-green.
Yeah.
He was turning me into eggs and stuff. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Magmar aspects. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It looked cool.
Oh, big lizard boys.
Yeah. Good looking character portraits for sure. All right, cool. Well,
all right.
That's Duelyst.
That is Duelyst.
What do we think?
I see the appeal. I see why people were really into it, but and we felt this way. I felt this way personally about Artifact. It's not entirely surprising that it's kind of just hitting a niche market. I think as a new player experience, I do think like onboarding, great. Tutorial seemed pretty clean. Is hand-holdy, but I do think like this isn't as intuitive as card games. There's a couple of things that you do probably need to show a new player that they're maybe not familiar with. Positionals is a thing. And then sending people straight into a practice mode where they have to get the factions, I think is also great. I think that's a great way of unlocking classes.
Get you familiar with them by playing against them first.
Yep.
Sure.
I think that's great. I do think, though, that like if that is my second step into the game, it's a lot. Still a lot going on. A lot of mechanics.
Yeah, I think there should be an intermediate step there because they basically are like, here's a full-on deck that you're just now going to play with immediately. And, you can learn on the fly, but like I think when you get to those positions where the possibility space is so huge that you're like, okay, I've drawn 2 cards. I can replace one of them, so I'm sort of effectively drawing 3 cards every turn. I have to move my units on the board. I have cards to play. It's a lot.
Now, they do give you a pretty long turn timer, which is, thank God, because we were talking a bunch.
The thing that's a little tough is how long does the game take?
Right. And how long does an actual PvP match take?
Yeah, game time might be a problem here. It's something to keep an eye on, especially in terms of like, a lot of card games at this point want 15-minute or less turns or games. Yeah.
So, I imagine this game would also probably be maybe a little difficult to play on mobile, which is what also a lot of card games are wanting to try and be made for. Not that this game has to be made for that by any means.
Right. I'm not sure if it's on mobile. If it is, then that might be interesting. I don't know.
I do think as far as like the first faction it gives you, I think it was overall, I think it was a good faction to start players off with.
It's a little vanilla.
I think it's perfectly vanilla though. The one thing that's not vanilla is that Arclight Sentinel with the +2, -2. Right. It's because I think giving players a card that intuitively I'm just thinking cards do good things. Yep. Right? So when I get a card that accidentally kills me,
that's a great point.
I'm already thinking about all these different things, all this possibility space, and then I play a card and it kills my guy.
And you're like, what just happened?
Right. Especially I play card games, and especially digital card games, enough to where I know, on the left there's a what happened thing. But if I'm a new player, I'm like, the hell is going on?
Why did I just die? I don't understand. Yeah, well, and even just the +2 -2 thing, I think that's just a bad idea in terms of like a new player experience because you really like new players really are not going to grok like why you want to give yourself a penalty to give yourself a bonus. Right. It should just be all in the positive. Fond memories of playing this. I played it a lot back when it first came out. This seems like a good update. I'm glad that it's back and they're doing interesting things with it. Yeah. We'll see where it goes from here. It was around. I mean, like I said, it was around for 4 years previously. It came out in 2016. They shut it down in 2020. It's back now. Give it a shot. It's cool.
Yeah.